All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to know when it's your intuition, discernment versus paranoia, or acting from a place of trauma. Now, what I'm going to do in this particular session is I'm going to focus on how you can know that it's intuition, and based off that, you will know that the rest is definitely not, right? So, this is a question that was posed to me after the previous session. And I think it's a very important topic. It's actually something that I had to think about a bit more than I usually do when I'm going to do my podcasts, mostly because I think it's become so ingrained within me that it's become something that I don't even notice, I just assume that, yes, it's just there. But when I took some steps back, I realized, this is actually how I was able to get to this place where I feel like, I can trust my intuition, right? One thing about connecting with your intuition and discernment is that it doesn't come as, it doesn't come alone, it doesn't come independently. Okay, it comes along with the relationship that you have with yourself. So if you feel like it's very hard for you to connect with your intuition, then ask yourself, what kind of relationship do you have with yourself? You're going to notice that for the biggest part, you're someone who self-abandons, you're very caught up in serving other people, because you're more in tune with other people's emotions and other people's energy than yourself. You're more aware of the needs of other people than your own needs. And so this brings me to the first thing. You need to build a relationship with yourself. Yeah. And when I say that, it can seem very broad, so I'm going to break it down in some of the ways that you can do that. First and foremost, I want you to lean into pleasure. Pleasure is supposed to be the measure that everything is connected to, okay, or is weighed by, or the measure through which you weigh whether or not you like something, okay? Because when you're in this space of like trying to self-discover, because obviously if you're trying to make a connection with yourself, just imagine you're going on a date or you're going to meet this guy, right? For you to be able to connect with him, you need to understand him, or for him to be able to connect with you, he needs to understand you. So that's almost the journey of self-discovery. So I want you to date yourself, okay? Not necessarily meaning like go on dates, but I mean explore the things that give you pleasure, okay? And honestly, if you use that as a measure, it will be easy for you to eliminate the things that you don't like. For example, if you're going by your pleasure, you say, if I go to the club, do I feel pleasurable or not? Okay. If I go by the water, do I feel pleasurable or not? If I read this book, do I feel pleasurable or not? Like, you get. So, you start to notice the things that genuinely make you happy. Okay. And then you will also know the things that you're doing just to be performative. And now another thing that you really need to do is you have to be willing to feel, because this connects with pleasure. For you to be able to know when something is not for you, you have to feel it. Now, I know feelings are demonized most of the time because I know people normally love to say that, well, women love to use their emotions and their emotions don't really help. But I think that there's a very big reason as to why they try to demonize your emotions, because they know that your feelings are normally the barometer of truth. Yeah. And so when you're someone who allows yourself to feel, you can be able to interrogate your feelings. And when you interrogate them, you're able to reveal a pattern. They will tell you, you felt like this because this and this happened. And I want you guys to get into the habit of not just sitting in emotions and getting stuck on this one particular emotion. For example, you're sad for days. Okay, it's okay to be sad, but when you're sad in a way that you're not processing at all, you're just sitting in this place of self-pity, because then those emotions become overwhelming, and then they become useless in this particular process. Yeah. But when you learn how to interrogate your feelings, feel it, interrogate it so that you can eventually release it. When you understand the pattern, when you understand, okay, I felt this way because of that and that and that, and then you take a mental note and say, you know what, moving forward, I'm going to do this and that, or I'm not going to do this and that, because when I do this, it doesn't give me pleasure. When I do that, it gives me pleasure. Okay, a lot in your life is going to change. And this actually brings me to the second thing that I want you to do when it comes to building a relationship with yourself. Because I just mentioned that you have to be able to know and take a mental note and say, I'm not going to do this again, to protect yourself. So you have to make promises to yourself and you fulfill them. Yeah. And these have to be, the difficult choices. For example, the ones that require discipline, because I just talked about pleasure. Okay. But it's a double-edged sword, because when it comes to energy, you have to understand that balance is important. You don't want to be in a position where you're doing too much of anything. Okay. There has to be some balance. So you need to have discipline. Okay. And especially when these are things that you're doing for your betterment, because when you do that, your body starts to trust you more. If you're bold enough to walk away from a relationship where you still had feelings for this person, but because you no longer felt pleasure, you're feeling the opposite of pleasure constantly, despite you trying to, sever things, then you are going to trust yourself more. Your body is going to start trusting you, because basically what just happened is that you listened to your body. But you see, for you to be able to listen to your body, you have to know, you have to be aware of this concept of pleasure or non-pleasure or displeasure, right? So you have to do the difficult things. It can mean you've been binging food, and you genuinely don't feel pleasure anymore. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't like what you see. You don't enjoy, dressing up anymore. There is no more pleasure. So that's when you ask yourself, what is the difficult choice for me to make? Yeah. And the difficult choice can be, maybe I'm going to start working out more. Maybe I'm going to start intermittent fasting for even 3 days, so that I can cut back on the greed that I feel when it comes to food, and you have to make this decision and then follow through, because when you follow through, I'm telling you, your body is going to feel more comfortable with you, more safe with you. I want you to notice that certain people who have neglected their bodies so much that now their bodies no longer communicate with them. You get, like, they can't even hear when their bodies communicate, and then just one day, they'll tell you this person just got bedridden, and you're like, what's been going on? Like, they were so exhausted, they were working so much, and they broke down. Or someone will just have a system failure, heart failure, kidney failure, liver failure out of the blue. Because you've not created a safe space for yourself. Like, you're out there rescuing everyone else, but when it comes to your own body, you're not able to listen. There's sometimes when your body will speak to you, like you will look in the mirror and realize, oh, I've eaten this thing, and days later this happened to me. Maybe this food is not good for me, but you continue abusing your body with that same food. It's going to get to a point where your body doesn't tell you that this food is bad anymore. And then one day, you go do a scan and they tell you, oh, you got this particular kind of, I don't even want to say the name because I don't want to put that out into the universe, But you don't want to get to a point where you get diagnosed with things just because you don't have the ability to listen to yourself. And that's a very big part of intuition, because I think sometimes people want me to just say something as simple as, well, intuition does this and trauma does this, but it's actually a process, because you literally have to connect with yourself. You have to feel like, yes, I am my biggest protector. I'm my biggest supporter. And when you start doing that, it gets to a point where you become more protective of your energy. Your body will start feeling like, oh, hey, let's communicate to her this. Let's communicate, because she listens, because she listens. Your body's like, oh, I can give you more tea. And it's gotten to a point when, personally, I'll tell you, like, when I'm doing meditation, I will just touch certain points of my body and I will get a message, and like the body part will probably tell you something like, oh, maybe cut back on the control that you've been, exhibiting this whole week, or, cut back on I don't know, maybe fear, maybe the way that you're communicating has been a bit harsh. Like, your body will start to speak to you, but it takes work, it takes nurturing. Okay, your body has to feel safe with you. Okay, and then another thing that you can do to be able to build your intuition and your discernment is you need to stop looking for physical evidence of your gut feelings. Because you see, sometimes we over-intellectualize our emotions, you get to a point where you feel something and you want to override your gut instinct with logic. Yeah? And so what happens is that this erases the intuition instead. Intuition is, and I'll tell you how it appears. It normally appears, it's a very quick message. It's a very soft message, It doesn't make too much noise, but it comes out once very clearly. And when you sit there and you start saying, but how come? But this, but that, eventually you might even forget the initial message that you got. So you have to get into the habit of taking in the message, taking the message and act without trying to look for physical evidence. I'm going to give you an example. You could go to a salon, you get there and, maybe your experience is not the best. And in that moment, you just feel like, you know what, I'm not going to come back to this salon. In that moment, you feel it very strongly. But then, I don't know, weeks later, maybe this person texts you, oh, when are you going to pass by? Maybe they're very nice to you this particular time. And you override your gut instincts and you're like, oh, well, let me go. She was nice to me, So let me just go back. And then when you go back, you remember exactly why your gut told you not to go back. And it's because you're constantly looking for physical evidence. Actually, let me give you a closer example. You're speaking with someone. Maybe someone is trying to date you, and you just get a feeling like they could do something that's not very significant, but because you have pattern recognition, something feels off. But then there's no logical evidence to back it. And so you start trying to look for the evidence. You're like, well, there's no physical evidence. So what does this really mean? And you find yourself, going ahead with the relationship. And then eventually, you start saying things like, Carla, I knew that guy, he was a red flag. But like, why are you always in the habit of saying, I knew, like, why don't you act? You get? You have to start acting, because sometimes, I don't know, people are expecting their intuition to come. I don't know. I think they want to see an angel showing up, and then like lights show up and maybe lights go off and then a message comes up and then, everything disappears. It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like that at all. It's going to be a very tiny whisper. But when you don't act on it, you always be in that space of, yeah, I really wish I acted. I know those people who are always saying, me, whenever I don't follow my intuition, something bad happens, but you're always not following it. So when are you going to follow it? It's going to get to a point where your body stops telling you things. And the thing is, it's not really like the body is going to stop telling you things, but it's just like you're so turned off when it comes to getting any messages from your body. Like your volume is completely off, you're muted. Or your intuition is muted, So stop looking for physical evidence of your intuition. And I also just want to put out a disclaimer. I don't want you to go and start making crazy decisions, crazy life-changing decisions. When you're starting to follow your intuition, I want you to take it a step at a time. Do not make the very big decisions because you're still trying to figure out like, oh, this was right. Because trust me, eventually the truth will be revealed to you. And sometimes, you know what, you don't really have to wait for the truth. You have to just be in a place where you trust your body enough to just know, like, you could go to a Rolex stand and then you've already decided, you know what, I'm going to buy. But then something just tells you, no, nah, let's not. Do not feel pressure. Do not feel the need to be like, but no, he's not done anything. But this is that. Trust me, there is a reason as to why you're feeling that way. Okay? So just move on, maybe to the next stand, or just decide not to eat the Rolex that day, because you'll find yourself buying that Rolex. Perhaps you might go to the toilet the whole night, or you might bite into glass, or you do not know, your spirit was telling you, do not eat from here because this person does funny rituals, anyway, I don't want to give people ideas, but the thing is, your body is always communicating to you. It's always trying to protect you. Okay? Now, this other one is probably something that you don't want to hear, but you have to get familiar with observing. Okay? You don't have to act you don't have to react every single time, right? If you want to develop your intuition better, sometimes you need to be able to see the results of you following your intuition. And so one thing that you want to do is stop interrupting the process of revelation. Yeah. Sometimes certain things are being revealed to you, but you're too emotional that you decide to jump in and interrupt the process. So, for example, something could be getting revealed to you about a friendship, about a situation, about a partnership, and because you're too emotional, you jump in and, why would you do that? Like someone is literally revealing themselves to you. I'm going to give you an example. Like, we've been having the retrograde, and we have the Neptune retrograde, which is basically bringing a lot of clarity. Then we also have the Mercury one. And what usually happens during this time is that masks start falling off. And when a mask is sleeping, my dear, let it sleep completely. Okay? Do not get to this point where you start confronting the person, but you did this and then you did that, and now you've done this and that. Allow them to show you who they are. Allow them to reveal themselves. Okay? Sometimes they don't want to whisper things to you, they want to show them to you, but you're interrupting the process. And that affects your pattern recognition. Because then you will never know, this is how this pattern led up to this and up to that and up to that. You have to become an observer. So control your emotions so that you can be able to see what's going on. Yeah? Now, the one that I actually meant that you might not really want to hear because it's difficult. I actually meant to mention it before. It's silence and meditation. Your intuition is not gonna be clear if there's so many distractions around you. You're constantly distracting. You're either listening to music or watching a movie or getting into an argument or doom scrolling, and then you fall asleep and then you wake up and then, there'll be no clarity at all. You have to make time for silence, if possible, daily. Yeah. You have to give yourself time, and you're like, you know what? Before I sleep, this is my time to connect with myself. Or when I wake up, because I think that could be the easiest. When I wake up, before I even touch my phone, the first thing I'm going to do is some meditation. How, you may ask? It doesn't have to be very intense meditation. It can just be you focusing on your third eye chakra, or just focusing on different points of your body. Yeah. Allow yourself to just get into this sort of trance. Yeah. Trance. Focus your energy in between your eyebrows. Okay. You're a powerful being. You're an energetic being. That shouldn't be hard. I know when I say it, you might think, that's going to be hard. No, it's not hard. Focus your energy on your third eye. Bring that energy back, because that is actually where we find our intuition and discernment. Sometimes you can also focus it on your throat, because what happens is that you have challenges hearing the messages, receiving them. Yeah? And the throat chakra can be responsible for that. Or focus it on your crown area. Or you can focus the energy on your gut area. Just pick any point. Or your sacral, the womb area, the lower abdomen. Focus your energy, because that's actually what's going to help you be able to just know for sure that yes, this is intuition. You're going to get to a point where you don't really need to do the whole, looking for physical evidence anymore, because you've gotten to the point where you really trust yourself. You don't ask questions, you just act. And the more you act, the more you trust yourself. Okay? So just to sum it up, for you to be able to have better intuition and discernment, you have to nurture a relationship with yourself overall. Because that relationship is going to create trust between yourself and your body. Like, you're also going to be able to trust your body. You will always know, like, what, I can go to this place because my body is feeling okay. Like, my body is communicating in the affirmative. You will start basing off your body, your feelings, how you feel, to make decisions. So you're not going to find yourself self-sacrificing, because when we self-sacrifice, mostly we're doing it against our better judgment. And when you build a good relationship with yourself and you trust yourself, and you allow things to play out without acting irrationally, and you give yourself room for silence and meditation, you're never going to question your intuition. You will know. Okay? And if it feels paralyzing, then try to interrogate the feeling. Try to bring your energy back to your third eye, but then use that as information. If your intuition speaks in a way that scares you so much, then maybe consider not doing the thing that you wanted to do, because it's not always paranoia. Sometimes it's your body telling you, like, listen, we are not going to enjoy this experience. But you can only know that if you have a connection with yourself. Okay? Thank you for trusting me with your energy. I wish you the ultimate best.